Yo, John Huey Radio Next Level checking in with you on this Media Connect Day. Got my boy. He's the brother. He's the man. He's the movement. He goes by the name of James Hill, founder and CEO of Black Millionaires. James, what's up, man?
What's good, man? What's good? I'm honored, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. I mean, thanks for having me on. I'm so used to interviewing people. I'm talking about coming on.
Hey, it's all
Yeah.
love, brother. It's all love. It's all love. I mean, I'm going to dive straight into it, man. You got a very, very, very unique style of brand, just pretty much the gems you drop, the information that you provide. How did it all come about? I mean, you repping the D. Shout out to all my folks in the D, man, Midwest in the building. Tell me, how did it all come about in terms of, the Black Millionaire movement and where you are now as far as being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I can even go back into college when I first picked up a camera and bought my first camera. So when I was like a freshman in college, man, I went through a lot within a year. And I lost my granddad. My uncle went to jail. I moved away from Detroit and moved to Saginaw Valley. That's where I went to school at. It's about 2 hours north of Detroit. So I was living on my own. Lost my dorm room. Ended up homeless in college. All of this. Lost my girlfriend, my first love. All of this within a year, right? So I was just going through a lot, man. And then, I just started looking myself in the mirror, like, what do I really want to do? And what I really wanted to do was like speak, and mentor and coach people and educate people, right? But I didn't want to go to school to be a teacher because teachers don't make money. Teachers don't become multimillionaires, right? Teachers don't become billionaires and create companies. So I'm like, okay, I have to be an entrepreneur. So I went and, so I started doing like, you know, doing people papers in college for like $50, $100, $200, right? And
Wow.
I got that money and went up to Best Buy and I bought a small cheap camcorder, right? So I started recording little cheap corny videos. People in my class laughing at me. We going to like events and I'm asking the people like, "Hey, can I play my video in front of y'all event?" And they like, "Okay, that's kind of corny, but okay." So I'm doing like motivational whack videos, right? And some people like, "Okay, it's good," but other people laughing at me, right? So, I realized that in order to do something good, you got to be willing to embarrass yourself and do it great, to
Yeah.
do it great. So I
Yeah.
started doing that, putting myself out there, and I started getting like speaking engagements because people saw I wanted to be a speaker, so they started booking me, right? And I got paid like $100 or $200 one time, and I'm like, I can really make money from this. Like I got paid money to speak, right? And then I would do this for free. So when I started getting booked and stuff started getting a little more polished and I started getting more serious, the same people who were laughing at me start, pulling me to the side like, "How did you get booked for that? Could you help me out with this? Could you show me?" And then I'm like, because you was laughing at me, now I got to charge you money, right? So I charge people for that. So, I'm just in college, first person to graduate from college, and I got an internship at a company called Quicken Loans. It's known on the stock market. They just went public. It's Rocket Mortgage, right? So I started working and interning for them. So I love the atmosphere, did everything. So that kind of was my first introduction into corporate America. So being in corporate America, I always wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than myself, like a startup or something like that. I just kept saying that. But Quicken Loans felt like a startup, even though it was a multi-billion dollar company.
Right.
It,
You're still in Saginaw, right? Where all this went, Quicken Loans and pretty much this
yeah, so
transition happened.
I'm an intern right now. I'm like my third year. I'm an intern, right?
Okay.
So as an intern, they offered me a full-time position, and I'm like, okay. So I accepted the full-time position like halfway into my senior year. So I'm ready to just drop out and go work for them, right?
Yeah.
But and this is back in Detroit. So I had moved back to Detroit. So that kind of killed my entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because I'm like, I got a good job, right? I'm making good money. I'm making more money than everybody in my family. Like, I'm working crazy hours, but I'm making good money, bro. Like, my third month or fourth month working there, I made like $12,000 in a month, and that blew my mind. I'm like, people really making this kind of money, and I'm at this time I'm like 23, 24. So
So 12
imagine
stack. Wait. You said was it 12 or what was the number again? In one month?
12,000. I made about $12,000.
Wow.
Well, and
Okay.
that was 12,000 in a commission check. So we
Right.
got paid one commission check a month and two salary checks a month. So my salary checks was like $1,500 just to pay the bills. So that month I made like $15,000.
Wow.
Right. So I'm
23,
thinking
23 years old and 15,000 in 1 month. This is fresh out of college. Which is fresh out of college or a few months, years removed. What was the timeline?
this is like 4 to 6 months out of college.
Oh, wow.
So right out of college, I make like 15 G's. So my mind just opened like ridiculous. And the way I made that is because I was the top, I was the number 6. I wasn't top 5. I was number 6 of the top bankers of my class that came in the same time as me. I was number 6. So number 5, 5 through 1, like 1 through 5, they got to go on like a trip to Ireland, somewhere crazy, right? Full paid for by the company. So I was gunning for that. That's what I was trying to do. And because I didn't get that, my VP tapped me on the shoulder, like, I know you was trying to get that top spot. You didn't get it, but I'm gonna do something for you. He was like, I want you to meet me in my office Sunday at 5 o'clock. I'm like, what? Like, what we gonna do Sunday at 5 o'clock? So I come to his office and he like, we're gonna go play, we're gonna go sit courtside at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, if anybody knows, Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage is owned. They own the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cavaliers, right? That's your boy. What's the owner's name for Cleveland?
His name is Dan Gilbert.
Dan Gilbert. Now, was Bron there at this time, or was Cleveland like?
Yeah.
It was years of Cleveland Cavaliers then.
Brown was there. Brown was there at this time. This might have been. I'm trying to think. When was this?
Yeah, he was drafted in 03. So I'm trying to see were they popping? Were they still missing the playoffs and really couldn't really do too much around this time?
No, they were popping. This was like when he was taking them to the
Eastern Conference.
They losing every year in the finals. So this was one of those years, right? So I'm sitting courtside, bro, like under the rim, like I'm on TV. They were playing the Spurs, bro. I was right next to LeBron. Like I'm right here, LeBron, like, I can run up to him and hug him if I wanted to. I get through out, but I can still do it. Right? That's how close I was, right? And the way I got there is I flew on a private jet. So I flew on the owner's private jet, and that opened my entrepreneurial spirit back up, bro. And at that point, I'm like, I can't keep working here. I gotta save my money. So I started saving all my money, bro, because this is my first time making this type of money. So I'm, you know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't upgrade it from Walmart to Whole Foods, you know what I'm saying? I'm shopping, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing
let me ask you this question. Had that been an airplane, right? Had you been flying in first class and not on a private jet, would you still had that mindset? I still want to be an entrepreneur. Like, was it the feel of independency? Okay, we're on a private jet right now. Meaning like, yo, we got all this is ours, not ours, but that to be in that space with a CEO or with a boss, as some would say, to actually be in that space, was that what kind of resonated? Was it just a point of knowing like, yo, I need more, I want more? Did that type of setup, meaning not flying on an airplane, but being on a jet, did that have any influence on, I guess, your mindset of being an entrepreneur?
So, So again, when I interned there, that kind of crushed my spirit because I was indoctrinated into the corporate America, right? My entrepreneur spirit was high. I was doing the speaking engagements. I was doing that. And then once I went and interned and got an offer to full-time job, started making 10, 15 G's a month. I'm getting into that corporate America now. I'm wearing suits, ties every day. I got a briefcase. I'm staying in the loft downtown Detroit. So, I'm in that corporate life, man. So when I got on that private jet, that just opened my eyes like, oh my God, like this is really possible. And then I went and read the story. I read his story, like how he started the company, and he was 23 and I was 23. And I'm like, oh man, I got to start something, right?
Yeah.
So I went and got my LLC. I did went and got a website, started buying a bunch of camera equipment. I started investing into my craft. Didn't know what I was doing when I bought a green screen. I just knew I wanted to be in media. I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? I just knew I wanted to be in media. So I'm spending all my money, and the girls coming over my house because I'm single at the time, my family coming over, they're like, bro, what is all this? Like my whole loft downtown studio apartment is like all media equipment now. They're like, what's going on? Like, don't you work at Quicken Loans? You still gonna work there? And I'm like, I just didn't answer people because I had decided I'm about to quit, right? And I was only working there for about a year. I started saving all my money. So I saved probably about $30,000 in the bank. It's the most I ever had in the bank, right? And I was paid off all my debt. I started paying off my debt, student loans, credit cards, because I told you I started living lavish, right? So I just I just quit one day. I quit once my apartment lease was up. I quit. I moved in with my little sister. Now I moved in with my little sister for like 2 or 3 weeks so I can go move down to Atlanta. So I filled up my car, threw everything out I couldn't fit in my Chevy Cruze, and I just moved down to Atlanta, bro. I ain't never been to Atlanta. I barely been out of my state, and I just moved down here, bro. And I had like $40,000 in the bank. I got a job at like this trucking company just so I can get an apartment because I had the money to pay the rent up for a year. That's what I was really gonna do. But they like, no, nah, we kind of just want you to have a job. The lady was like, even if you get an offer letter and quit the job, I'm okay with that. But on paper, you just got to have a job.
So wait, let me say this before we go any deeper because I gotta tap into this. Now there's two questions I have. So I'm gonna give you the first one first, of course. What is an entrepreneur? Now, that's a never-ending question that a lot of people is being misused, misunderstood, as well as misrepresented in a lot of ways. I know some people that are broke but claim to be entrepreneurs. So if you had in some ways, based upon your experience and the moves that you're making or that you've made and you're also making, what is your definition of what an entrepreneur is?
My definition of an entrepreneur is someone who can build something greater than themselves and someone who can make something out of nothing. Meaning, you know, if you're somebody and you're walking down the street and you're slipping on ice and you're falling on snow and you realize that, man, the sidewalk need to be shoveled, bro. Like, what's going on? And you go take out a loan at the Ace Hardware for $600 and get a snowblower and some gloves and a hat, and you go and knock on everybody's door and say, hey, I can shovel the sidewalk so grandma, granddad, mom, and dad coming out for work is not falling on ice, and I'll charge you $20 a house and you make your 600 back within that day. That's an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Now, I didn't say anything about quitting your job.
Right. Okay. And that's my next question. That's my next question. Because you kind of gave a timeline and details in terms of the steps you made before you say, you know what, I'm out of here. Like, yo, I'm about to move. About it. You talked about you paid off student loans, and you talked about money you had saved up. Now, had you not had those things or pretty much a plan in place, would you have still made that move?
Probably not, because I'm not stupid, right? I'm not like I'm a very smart, like, I don't like to brag on myself, but I'm a very smart person. Like, I make calculated decisions. Like, an entrepreneur is somebody who takes calculated risk, right? I'm a young Black man, single with no kids, so I can take a risk, right? And the risk wasn't even that big because I have an uncle down here who's doing pretty well. So if I fell flat on my face and was homeless, I could have been like, let me sleep in the basement, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have did that. And I got family down here, so it's not like I moved to Cali. So I wanted to move to California. I wanted to move to LA, but I don't know nobody in LA. So if I would have moved there and fell on my face, I would have just been stranded in LA. So I made a calculated risk. I got $40,000 in the bank. I'm 23, 24. I ain't got no kids, no girlfriend, nobody. I got a car, you know, and I got family that stay in Georgia. Georgia is a great place for media. So I made a calculated risk. Most people still wouldn't have made it with all those things in place. But I'm not stupid. I'm not going to bet the whole house on some dream moving down to Atlanta without something in place. So if I fall on my face, and I got a degree, right? So I can go get a job if I wanted to.
Right. So would that be the message then? Like, I definitely want to talk about all my entrepreneurs out there, persons that are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, because I think the allure and the independency and the overall just title, a lot of people get caught up in that. And always the adage is like, you want to be my own boss, but they don't understand or know that, you actually, there's some things that go within that or between that you need to be mindful of as it pertains to, as you mentioned, paying off debt, having your ducks in a row, considering the cost, not looking at the opportunity, but as well as the risks that are involved. What's your message to that aspiring 20-something or even just teen that's pretty much in the same spot that you're in? However, they're thinking about making that same move. What would you tell them to be mindful of before they make that next step?
What I would say is focus on defense first. So in business, in sports, and life, there's offense and there's defense. Offense is you know how to make a lot of money. Defense is you know how to save a lot of money. You know how to pay off debt. You know how to take calculated risk. That's defense. So I would say you can focus on defense while you still got your job, right?
Yep.
So you can save up your emergency fund. You can pay off all your debts, right? You can make large purchases that, that may be you don't want to make when you don't have guaranteed income, but you got guaranteed income. You can make this large purchase, right?
Yep.
So I'll say focus on defense first. And then once your defense is in order, then you can go hardcore on offense, because offense and earning money, you want to have a full mind and you want your whole mind working towards money, 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 not money. And I got to figure out how to pay the bills the next week, right?
Mm.
You want your whole mind operating. And once you do this, your opportunities are going to explode. But most people try to balance defense and offense, paying off debt, starting a business, saving. They try to do all things at once. What I recommend is, saving and paying off debt for like 6 months to a year, getting comfortable, lowering your expenses, and then transitioning once you learn that skill into full-fledged offense, multiple streams of income, creating a business, going out, attacking, hitting the streets, hustling. That's what I would recommend. And that's exactly what I did. So fast forward, I'm living in Atlanta. I got my apartment now. And I was strategic. So I got a 2-bedroom apartment so I can get a roommate so I can lower my expenses, because again, my goal is to go full-time as an entrepreneur. So when I did that, I had to liquidate some of my savings because I had to do everything on my own, right? So that cost me about $3,000. I had to furnish the house, whatever. Then I paid my car off. I started paying my car off. So that cost me some money, cost me about $10,000. And then I started paying off my student loans, was very aggressive with that. And before you know it, I only got like $5,000 or $6,000 left, right? I paid off all my credit cards. I paid off all my medical debt. All the debts that I have were paid off. I still have student loans. I had stopped paying on those. We can get to that later. But at this point, and I'm still invested in my business. So before Black Millionaires, I started a business called Millennial Mistakes. And now,
Wait. Millennial mistakes.
yes, I started
Okay.
a coaching financial literacy business called Millennial Mistakes. I invested like $10,000 into this business. That was a part of the 20, or the 30 that I originally had.
Yeah.
So now that's how I got down to like $5,000, because the business failed, right? I didn't make any money. I had like 4 customers. I sold like 3 courses. And I basically went broke, bro. I moved to another city, and within a year I went broke. I had like $5,000 left, and obviously I had to go back and get a job. And I started working for Cisco in their sales department, and I quit the business. I shut the LLC down. So now I'm just in Atlanta with a job, right?
So let's back up for a second. What did millennial mistakes look like? I mean, because apparently you were a millennial that made a mistake. So what did the course look like?
So basically I was just educating people on how to pay off your student loans, how to budget, how to save money, just financial literacy coaching, credit, stuff like that, right? I was just doing that, getting booked for speaking engagements. So I was doing videos on YouTube. So it was stuff like that.
Okay. Where did you expect the money to come from in terms of, I mean, I know clientele base is one. I mean, of course, it's a client-based business, but what were some other areas that you thought or maybe assumed that the money could pretty much stream through or come from?
So I invested about $2,000 in merchandise. So I was selling T-shirts. I was doing speaking engagements. I did one-on-one coaching, and I had a course online. So those are my 4 streams of income.
Okay.
So my speaking engagements was pretty good, right? I was getting like 500, a couple hundred here and there, 1,000 here and there, right? So I was getting speaking engagements, and then I was using the money to invest in a course. So I went viral on LinkedIn one time and sold like 4 courses for a couple $100. So I was making money, but I wasn't making enough to sustain the lifestyle that I wanted, to be a full-time entrepreneur and to pay off debt, because I was doing all of those at once,
Yeah.
right? Which is why I had to go back and get a job in corporate America, which was humbling. But at the end of the day, I had to do what I had to do, because I'm not stupid, right? I'm not about to be homeless on the street talking about being an entrepreneur. So now that I got about $4,000 or $5,000, bro, I actually went and got a job, and I just started working, man. And I started working and still was investing in the business. And then I was like, man, I did my taxes one year, bro, and I was like, 2018 when I did my taxes, I was like, bro, I lost $10,000 in this business.
Mm.
Business isn't working. Like I'm not one of those people who don't never quit. No, quit something that's not like when you don't have a clear path, you don't have a business model, you don't have nothing, you're just out trying to make stuff happen. You got to refine your approach, right? So I actually quit the business, bro, and I went and I got a job. I started delivering pieces, bro. So
was it DoorDash or through the franchise? DoorDash.
no, I started delivering for Domino's.
Domino's. Okay.
So I had my full-time job making like $45,000 a year plus bonus, and I started delivering for Domino's in front of a club, bro. So this is very humbling. Like everybody out at the club, bro, and I'm delivering pizzas to the club. Like bad women, like bring me my pizza, cussing me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people at the club disrespecting me, not tipping me. Like I'm delivering pieces, bro. Right. And then I got sick, bro. I had made a bunch of money delivering pieces. I made like 10 G's delivering pieces. So now I got like 15,000, bro. And a friend reached out to me like, bro, let's do this social media thing again. Right. And he like, what we gonna name the page? So Millennial Mistakes ain't hit on nothing. The page only got like 200 followers right now. Right. Yeah. So I started trying to grow my personal brand because I met this guy who had a personal brand that was popping, and he came on my podcast, the Millennial Mistake Podcast, and he was telling me about his brand. We went out to dinner, and he told me like what he did to grow his social media. So I'm like, okay, let me grow my personal brand. So I started growing my James Hill TV personal brand, and I got like 100 followers promoting on these Black-owned pages, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, I want to create the page because I paid this guy like $80 just to make an Instagram post. So I'm like, I want to create a page like that. And it was called Black Wall Street. So my guy like, let's create a page like that, right? And I'm like, what we gonna call it? I can't call it Black Wall Street. That's the perfect name, right?
Yeah.
So my friend like called it Black Millionaires. So I'm like, when you hear a good idea, you like, oh my God. I'm like, that's it, bro. That's it. So
why million though? I mean, in the day and age, is that the new trend that, I guess with millions being so easy to making it seem as though they're easy to attain now, where you have so many new billionaires. What was the cause of, or I guess the rationale behind it being millionaires instead of, I guess, billionaires?
Because billionaires, when you coming from poverty, bro, it's hard to see how you're gonna make a billion.
Got you. Okay.
Right. So locally, millionaires, bro. You walking up the street, the guy who owned a Dollar Tree, a millionaire. You don't really know too many billionaires, though. Right. So in the Black community, we idolize millionaires. LeBron, he might be a billionaire, right? We don't know.
He's well on his way. I mean, Jordan is there.
Like, so the whole idea was to normalize Black people being millionaires.
Yep.
Everyday millionaires, not celebrities though. Right. So that was the whole goal. So me and my friend, this is like my best friend from college, we came up with the plan. We put together $150. I'm like, I'm not investing my money into this because I had already did millennial mistakes and failed and lost 10 G's. So I'm like, I'm not investing no money. We started with $150, bro. So I put up my 150. He cashed at me 150. And like 3 days later, we got into it. This is our first argument ever, bro. We never argued before. This is my best friend, bro. We never argued before. So we got into an argument and he just like, whatever, get my money back, bro. This is why you can't do business with friends. I'm like, it's $100, bro. We spend that at Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? We spend that at B-Dubs. So I gave him his money back and I'm just sitting here like, and I just spent my money on the domain name, email, PayPal, logo. I didn't spend my money on this type of stuff. So I'm just like, whatever, bro. I'm like, whatever. I'm not doing it. And then I thought about it. And I'm like, what do I have to lose? I only got $150 invested, right?
Right.
So I just started going to networking events and started going out. And I met the guy who created the Super Soaker, Lonnie Johnson, down here in Atlanta. I met him at an event. And he won a settlement for $87 million, bro. because they used his patent.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Patent, bro. And it was like a 10-year dispute, and they had to do a back payment of $80 million to him, like in a check. So I met him and he was talking about that. And I started calling people and they were like, who is Lonnie Johnson? They knew the Super Soaker, but they didn't know him. And that's when it crystallized in my mind. I had the Black Millionaires page. I'm like, I need to talk about everyday Black millionaires, not just anybody, not rappers, not celebrities. Black millionaires people don't know. So I started posting up about this type of stuff, right? And one of my posts went viral, bro. I got like 6,000 followers off this one post, bro.
Who was the post? Who was the post about? The 6,000.
It was about Lonnie Johnson. I made a post with him with the Super Soaker, and I made the caption at the top of it said, the creator of the Super Soaker, Lonnie Johnson, just won a settlement for 79 or 89.3 million dollars or something like that. Bro, went viral. All these big pages that I wanted to emulate, that I wanted to copy their business model, stole my content, bro. They literally took it off my page and put it on theirs, and they getting thousands of shares. And I'm like, bro, can you tag me? They like, no, we charge money for that. So I'm like, how much? They like $100. I'm like, I ain't never paid $100 for a post a day in my life. I'm like, all right, bro, go ahead. And they tagging me, and this is how I'm getting the 5,000 and 6,000 followers, because people are like, okay, who's the creator of this? Like,
so wait, so you invested and you risked $100, but in return, your return on the investment was posted 6,000 followers.
Well, that was only for one page. I started doing it on like Buku pages.
Gotcha. Right? Okay.
And I started using the money from delivering the pizzas to fund that, right? So I'm out delivering pizzas, and whatever I get in tips, I pay for a promo, right? Gotcha. So if I get $100 in tips, I just pay for a promo. And I'm doing this, and I still got my 9-to-5 job, but I'm not using any of that money. I'm just saving that money, because when I used that money last time, I lost. So I was disciplined, like, I'm gonna spend all this money on my side hustle and just invest all that into my business, right? And remember, I told you I invested $2,000 in t-shirts?
Yeah.
I ain't sell none of them because the business was failing. Nobody bought the t-shirts.
What were the t-shirts? Millennial, the Millennial brand, or what was on the t-shirts?
It said, "I will be the first millionaire in my family." Right?
And you actually created that?
Huh?
You actually, because that slogan or that message has gone viral in terms of "I'll be the first."
That was me. I'm the one who created that. Yeah, I'm the one who created that.
But you never trademarked it though.
No, I never trademarked it. So people been stealing it and all that, and now I'm just like, I'm working with my lawyer. I actually just got the trademark to Black Millionaires, so I'm about to trademark it and do all that. Right? Yeah. So once I started, I'm like, oh, I got the t-shirts. So I started selling the t-shirts and start giving free shipping. So people started buying it once I started doing free shipping, lowered the price, right? So I just wanted to get my money back. So every time I sold a t-shirt, I made $15. I invested that back in promo. So I'm delivering pizzas, I'm doing speaking engagements when I can, and I'm selling t-shirts. And every time I sell a t-shirt, I invest that back into promo.
How long had you been selling pizza? You said the Domino's, granted, it was a humbling gig, but yet you saw a great return on in terms of the tips and the money itself. How long did you stay on your pizza job?
I did that for probably about 4 months.
4 months, but you was doing this along with the full-time 9-to-5, right?
Yeah. So 9 to 5, I get off, and what time? 7 to 11 on the weekdays, and 7 to 3 p.m. on the weekends. Every day, bro. Every day. I didn't have a day off. I did this for 4 months straight. And when I did that, I was investing all that money into my brand. So the only reason I quit delivering pizzas is because I got sick. I was doing it so long, bro. I was dehydrated. I was eating all that pizza. Like, I got sick, bro. And when I got sick, like, I couldn't be around the pizza because I'm sick. So at this point, they fired, I just told them I was sick, can't come in, and they took me off the schedule. So I basically quit. But I still got all this money now. I got like 15 G's now because I've been saving. I've been saving or investing into the business. So at around this time, I got like 10K now, right? I got like 10,000 on IG, and that's on the Black Millionaires. So This is January 2020 at this point, right? So March 2020, what happens? COVID.
COVID hits, yeah. Pandemic.
The pandemic hit. I'm going crazy because my business just starting to pick up. My speaking engagements, bro. I got like 3 speaking engagements lined up. I'm just really starting to get in motion. And the speaking engagements all got canceled. And because I was a rookie to the speaking engagement, I didn't get a down payment. So all that money I lost. I didn't take a deposit, bro. All that money I lost. So at this point, I'm like, bro, I'm going crazy going through it. And I start talking to this girl, right, that I'm in a relationship with now. And she like, why are you complaining? Like everybody's at home and your social media is growing. Like you should start focusing on that and stop focusing on the speaking engagement. And I was like, I kind of brushed it off. I'm like, I had just started talking to her. So I'm like, why are you all in my business anyway? And then she said it again. And she was like, if you're not going to listen to me, like, I'm not going to talk to you no more. Like we supposed to be, because she had a business. She like, I listen to you when you give me advice. So you got to listen to me. So I'm like, all right. So I started going live like every other day, bro. And just start posting content like 6 times a day. And then I start accepting promos. Instead of doing a speaking engagement, I'm like, I do promos like the other pages, right? So COVID took me from 10,000 to like 25,000, bro. But then guess what else happened in 2020?
What was that?
Floyd.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter. So everybody was pro-black the whole 2020 for like 6 months. Businesses, everybody had it on their website and everything. And when you Google it or when you search on Instagram, black was the first thing to come up.
As far as black business, or you talking about just the race, our race alone? Which
our race alone, black, being pro-black became popular.
Yeah.
6 months ago, you at your job, you don't really want to be pro-black. You like, I don't know about that. You kind of look at that as a renegade when you do that, like, know what I'm saying, being pro-black. But now 2020, everybody pro-black. And I started the hashtag Black Millionaires. Nobody else was using that. So I dominate that hashtag. So anytime you look it up, all my posts come up, which is how I started getting a lot of followers, bro. So when the George Floyd situation happened and the Black Lives Matter march started happening, bro, I went from 50 to 100K in like 3 weeks on Instagram.
Wow.
And then, other things started happening, all type of other Black Lives Matter and marches and all that started happening.
We had, well, what about on Blackout Day? You remember Blackout Day support only, was it only black businesses? I think this was back in July, right? Was that June or July 20?
Yeah.
That had grown. I'm thinking about that. And when you said that, light bulb went off. Yeah, you're right. There were quite a few days that were actually designated for us. I mean, not only just you think about Juneteenth, June 19th, of course, and all those days. So during that time, you were already in position to pretty much capitalize off that.
Exactly, bro. So everybody else was like scrambling, trying to start a business. I already started a business in January that was pro-black, bro, before all this happened, because I was already pro-black. I was already on that.
Yeah.
So I was in a position to capitalize on it. So that's why when I tell people I got 200,000 followers in 8 months, they don't believe me. I'm like, bro, go look at it. And here's the thing. I start documenting every time. Like when I got 10K, I posted up, hey, I got 10K. Nobody really celebrated. Then I got 25K. I'm like, 25K, nobody celebrated. And I'm like, 50K. People like, damn, okay. And then when I got to 100K, people like, okay, you got to teach me how to do this. Because I went from 50 to 100 in 3 weeks. From Juneteenth all the way to the blackout in July. That was my best month, bro.
Wow. So look, are we talking about both pages? Because you have your James Hill TV page.
I ain't promo. I had stopped promo. My girl told me don't promo on James Hill TV.
Everything was Black Millionaires.
Everything is Black Millionaires. So for the whole 2020 is Black Millionaires. I just started promoting James Hill TV and growing that this January of 2021.
Okay, got you.
So,
okay.
Bro, I'm growing. So I grew to like 50,000 followers, then 150. Then 200, and then in like 8 months. So now I just continue to grow. I'm doing promos, and then I come out with my ebook telling people how to do this. I'm like, bro, start now, invest on these pages, promo with these pages, create this type of content. This is how you structure your content. These are the hashtags you use. This is when you post. This is how often you post. I literally broke everything down, bro. And I gave it. I did a downloadable ebook for $100, right? So everybody like $100, but he got a proven track record because they literally saw me do it. So
yeah, credibility. Credibility is everything. Credibility is everything.
So hundreds of people bought it. So this is my first time making like 10 G's from my own business. Wow. So now I make like 10,000 in 1 month. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So bro, fast forward 2020, I make 6 figures and I still got my job. Cause I'm making all this from my phone, bro. So I ain't quit my job until December, bro. That's when I opened up my studio in Atlanta. So I quit my job December 2020, opened up a podcasting studio that I'm in now, and all of my success, I still have my job. So I tell people like, look, you can do this and you ain't got to quit. You ain't got to spend all your money. You ain't got to liquidate your 401k. Like there's a proven system. Go get you a side hustle that's making you at least $100 a day. Uber Eats, DoorDash, you can do all that and make $100 a day, right? Delivering pizzas, whatever. Do that and invest all that money in your business. Don't take your money you make from your 9 to 5. Feed your kids, keep your mortgage, keep the lights on, make sure your bills are paid over here, and use all your side hustle money, not to fund your lifestyle, to fund your business, right? And that's basically what I did, and that's what I teach people, and I show people how to do it. So now, fast forward in August, I applied for the trademark. My trademark went through now, so I'm good to go. I got a new merch line now, so I stopped millennial mistakes. And I got my merch line. I got the shirts, the hats, the wallets, everything. So I'm taking it to the next level, man. So, bro, I haven't seen a month where I didn't make 6 figures since that time I made 6 figures the first time.
What will be the common thing? Because I mean, a lot of people, and granted, you know, you're in a prize position, not a prize position. I mean, you're in your position. You're playing your position. That's pretty good. You got to play your position. But what will be the main probably the thing that you look at the most, which helped you to navigate? Okay, was it sacrifice? Was it focus? Was it just a level of you just being zoned in on one thing? Or what was the thing you would say to help you to, I mean, granted, millennial mistakes were millennial mistakes, but it wasn't necessarily a mistake. It was a stepping stone. So if you kind of put all that into perspective and kind of just allow that to be the life story or pretty much your story, you know, what's that one thing you say that pretty much helped you to navigate and make that next step? I mean, allowed everything else to clear out your head and I can only focus on and do this. What was that one thing?
I would say the key word you said, sacrifice. You got to stay down until you come up, bro. So when I started making $10,000 and $20,000 a month, I didn't upgrade my car, right? Gotcha. I didn't upgrade my apartment, right? I still got a roommate. I wasn't eating lobster tail every other night. I was investing it back into my business, bro. I was paying, you know, I was making sure I got enough money saved to pay my bills for a year to go full time as an entrepreneur. I was making sure I did all, because I already did this before. Right. And I failed. But this time I had more knowledge and information, like invest in your craft, invest in what works.
Yep.
Right. And again, I stayed down until I came up. So I started investing in my business, bro, making the sacrifices. Bro, when I started making all that money, bro, I was wearing the same clothes every day, bro. I had like 3 outfits, black t-shirt, a couple pair of jogger pants, and some I bought 2 pair of shoes in 2020.
You know, it's crazy you say that because they always say Steve Jobs wore the same thing to work every day. It says Steve Jobs wore the same thing.
Steve Jobs is my favorite entrepreneur, bro. He's my favorite entrepreneur. And when I learned that from him, I learned that in college, actually. Bro, I started wearing the same thing every day, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I bought 2 pair of shoes in 2020 and I made 6 figures, bro. I bought some Ferragamos. That was my biggest splurge. That's $600, bro. And I bought some like Air Maxes or whatever, some little Nikes. That's it. And I bought some Ferragamos to go with my business suits and when I go speak. But bro, that's the only money I spent on myself out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro. And it's like people go make $300-$400 and they ready to pay themselves, bro. You gonna make $500-600, bro, and you ready to, I deserve this. No, you don't. Your business deserve it. Right, bro. I don't take a salary out of my company right now. I got employees, bro. They got to get paid. Right? I got enough money in the bank. I can live for 2 years, bro. I ain't got to I ain't got to pay myself. And I did that strategically because that's how you grow a company, bro. Like, and most people, they'll pay themselves a salary. They going on trips, they popping bottles at the bar. I ain't did none of that, bro. I start making the money and investing. And I had other people. I'm not the only person that blew up on social media in 2020. Other people did, but they went out and bought a Benz. They went out and bought a Lexus. And everybody looking at me like, you ain't getting that much money. How you saying you is? Because if you was, all black people gonna go buy a new car. There's no way you about to be riding in your old Chevy Cruze that you had since college and you made 6 figures. It's unbelievable. Then I dropped the studio. People like, hold on. What you mean you dropping the studio? I'm like, that's my car. You bought a car. I bought a studio. We think that.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you this now. You mentioned Steve Jobs being one of your mentors. Most leaders, most entrepreneurs, most businessmen or women, they're readers. Give me your top five books. If you had to in some ways, if I was a student or anybody that needs like, what should I be reading right now? Give me your top 5 books for sure can get anybody off the ground or pretty much keep them up and moving.
I would say The Richest Man in Babylon. That opened my eyes up to, just a lot of financial literacy. And it's told through stories. So it's not told save money. Like, they don't just tell you to save money. They tell you a story and it paints a picture of why you need to save money. So The Richest Man in Babylon. I would say Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the guy who started Nike. Mm-hmm. He has an autobiography. Made in America by Sam Walton, the guy who started Walmart.
Yep.
The Celestine Prophecy. That's a book, and that's more of a spiritual awakening book, and it talks about how to take coincidences seriously. Right? There's opportunities that happen in your life every day. Like a coincidence that you just so happen to see my sign outside and you like, I'm gonna actually go introduce myself to him. That's a coincidence, bro. Yep. Most people see that sign and they DM me on Instagram. They don't come knock on my door. They don't take action. So that's what that book talks about, just taking action. And then, another book I'll give you is called Influence by Robert Cialdini. It's about sales and marketing. And it talks about the 6 or 7 marketing and sales tactics to increase your income and to increase your business. So those are the strategies that I use today, and I use to make money, and I use it literally every day in my business. So those are the books that I would say to go get started.
Dope. Listen, man, this is part 1. Like, for real. We appreciate the gems. If anything else, give us last words. If you had to look into the camera right now, and if you was in front, no, actually, you know what? If you was in front of a college auditorium right now, mm-hmm. you got it's full of young people, full of some people that still probably up in age, but yet want to get started, want to get their feet off the ground, but don't know how to. What's your message, or what advice would you give them right now if you had to, within the next your elevator speech? What would it be right now?
I would say learn offense and defense, and learn how to use both of those effectively. So if you're just getting out of college, or if you had a job that you want to transition out of, you need to figure out what's your freedom price, which means how much money does it cost for you to live without making any money. And I got this from Bill Gates. He said when he started Microsoft, they needed enough money in the bank to pay everybody and pay every operational expense for 1 year. So that's your freedom price. What is your freedom price? And if you figure that out, you just save that amount of money and you can quit your job tomorrow because you know exactly how much money you need to live for a year, right? So figure out your freedom price. So once you figure that out, save that amount of money. Discipline yourself, sell everything in the house, whatever you got to do, bro, to get that freedom number. And what people don't know is money is attracted to money. So when you save money, you actually become more attractive to money. So having money in the bank brings you other opportunities to make and earn money. It's ridiculous, bro. When I ain't had no money, nobody was calling me, bro. The minute I saved $15,000, $20,000, people calling me, hey, can you come speak? No, I'm actually busy. We'll pay you $3,000. All right, I got time now.
Yeah.
Right? So I would tell people to save money. That's defense. Offense. Now you want to figure out how to make $100 a day. People all on social media talking about make 10 G's in a month, make 20,000, make 100,000 in a year. I'm telling people to dumb it down. Let's figure out how to make $100 a day. $100 a day, that's $365,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's 360. That's $36,000 a year.
Yep.
If you can figure out how to make $36,000 a year, you can pay your bills. Nobody's bill is $36,000 a year, right? Unless you got like 5 or 6 kids and you got a lot of other stuff going on. But if you can figure out how to make $100 a day in profit, that's all you need to figure out to do. And once you figure that out, now let's try to make 150. Right? Now let's try to make 200. Now let's try to make 275. And $275 a day, that's $100,000 a year. And if I'm half wrong, you just made an additional $50,000 a year. Right? If I'm 75% wrong, you just made an additional $25,000 a year. So people, they try to make 100 G's, bro. Just try to make $100 a day.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, bro. Can you discipline yourself to make $100 a day? And then whatever you did to make that $100, give 10% more, 50% more. And then you will start seeing those $10,000 a month checks. You'll start seeing $20,000 a month. You'll start being able to save and invest. You'll start being able to upgrade your lifestyle a little bit, right? But most people are trying to make 100,000 instead of making that $100 a day.
Got you. Yeah, I forgot. You're right on the numbers too. I think I forgot to carry the one right there. But yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head, bro. Listen, one last thing, because I forgot to cover this earlier, but this is so important. Credit. What was that credit looking like when you decided to, in some ways, make those moves? You were able in some way start saving. No, actually before, when millennial mistakes had sort of just fell through the cracks, did your credit score take a hit? If so, how did you rebound on it?
Yeah, so my credit score took a hit simply like I did a 360, bro. So I was actually pre-approved to buy a house in Detroit right before I got on that private jet. So when I got pre-approved, I had a 750 credit score. That's because I used to pull people credit. I was a mortgage banker, so I used to look at 40 different credit reports a day. So I knew and understood credit. But once I moved to Atlanta, bro, I paid off all my credit cards and closed the credit cards. That was a mistake. I lost my credit history. I lost the revolving credit, right? So I took a hit. I lost like 60 points because of that, closing all my credit cards. Then I started paying off all of my debt. And credit, when you pay off all your debt, your credit is actually affected because of that. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you pay off all your debt, and I paid off my car, my credit score went down. So I lost probably like 100 points, bro, just by paying off all my debt. And that's a mistake, right? I shouldn't have closed those accounts, even though I paid off the debt, right? So I probably would have been at an 800 right about now. But so that was just something I made a mistake on, and something I tell people don't do what I did. Pay your credit card off, but just cut it up. Don't close the account.
Gotcha.
If you're not disciplined enough, just, hide it, put it in a safe. So, it's not in your pocket and you're not out frivolously spending. So that's a mistake I made with my credit. And, I'm fixing it now, but that's something I definitely made a mistake on a few years ago.
Bam. There it is, bro. Legendary James Hill, brother James Hill, the good brother, spin gems, giving knowledge, as well as in some ways moving the culture forward with his knowledge, skills, and just pretty much vision. We appreciate you, sir. What contact information? Of course, we all know Black Millionaires is popping. Any other ways or methods persons or individuals get in contact with you for anything? What would you like for them to have or like for them to know?
Yeah, I'm James Hill TV on all social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Yeah, all the major Clubhouse. I know Clubhouse is new now, but YouTube. I'm James Hill TV on all of those. So if you guys want to check in and follow me, you definitely can follow me on James Hill TV. If you're like, hey, I like what this guy stands for, but I don't like him, you can actually go follow my brand, Black Millionaires, and that's where I educate the community. One post at a time on Instagram. We just crossed 500,000 on there. So I appreciate everybody who's listening to this. If you don't want to follow me personally, you can follow my brand at Black Millionaires _ on Instagram. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you for having me on too, brother.
No doubt, man. And this won't be the last time for sure. Hey, John Huey Radio, got the good brother James Hill in the building. Still got more to come, man. Y'all keep it locked. Next level. Still more to come.
Music, interviews, podcasts, and so much more. John Huey Radio. Next level.